listening to the Talking Shrimpers podcast, sponsored by Surgical Holdings.
Welcome to TSP. I'm your host, Sensei Phil, with me, Charlie, Katie and Finn this week. Coming up, 9 points in 7 days. We break down wins against Yeovil, Braintree and Sutton. It's going to be a very, very busy show. Firstly, it's good to be back. I've just got to say sincere thanks to so many people who've reached out to me, offering so many kind words of support, from supporters to, members of consortium, players, Kev and his family as well. So yeah, it's been really overwhelming, and I really, really appreciate it. Also, thank you to Charlie for covering. I think you can honestly say he's a very capable stand-in. Finn, would you agree?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I wasn't silent because I disagree. Yeah, I completely agree. It was a good stand-in. Absolutely.
No, you're too kind.
Not a hard man to follow, to be fair. Just press a few buttons, hope to say the right thing.
I'm just glad that nothing died in those couple of weeks. It's still working. So but no, it's good to have you back, Phil.
Well, I was actually listening to the live show last week, and it was a very weird experience, I've got to say. I wasn't saying, no, do this, do that, say that. I really enjoyed it. It was really good to just sit back and...
all the homework that goes into it, all the notes and the planning that,
you do very well, Charlie.
It's great to hand those reins back over to you. And
you followed all my notes to the letter.
Yeah, to be fair, ChatGPT came in handy. I must admit a few bits. So, back down to you, mate.
So, how have you been, Katie? Obviously, Easter weekend. Up to much?
I've just got back from skiing, actually, so I've been away for a week. But no, it's been really
Whereabouts?
nice. Yeah, to the Three Valleys in France.
Lovely.
Yeah, the weather was amazing, so it's good snow conditions as well. So I can't complain.
Well, it had snow, did it?
It did have snow, and it also had sun, so a bit both.
Yeah, it's kind of what you need. Very good, very good. Finn, what have you been up to?
Just eating loads of chocolate, to be honest. That's pretty much it this time of year.
We know.
Just recovered from a cold, so I'm not as coldy as I was last
Oh yeah, you had lurg, didn't you?
Yeah. So I'm not quite as bad. I won't be having to pause my camera every 5 minutes and blow my nose, but I'm all good this week. So yeah, just been eating loads of chocolate and enjoying loads of Southend wins. That's pretty much it.
Hard life. Charlie, what about yourself?
I celebrated a birthday over. Well, my birthday was actually Good Friday.
Yes, you did.
So
happy birthday, Good Friday.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it was good to double celebration. Really, I thought I was might have jinxed it earlier on in the week, but yeah, Southend came through. Did leave it a little bit nervy, but we'll go on to that. But yeah, it was great to good birthday. Good couple of wins for Southend.
Great Friday, we should call it.
Yeah, and then I'll just see family and friends over the weekend, so it's good.
Yeah, it was a great day, and even Keenan was on time on Friday. I was saying he pulled up in the car park, and I'm kind of looking at my watch, and he says, "This is the new me."
See how long it lasts.
Cards actually said, I told him he needs to leave early today because there's going to be a lot of people here.
Yeah, true.
So he did. And well done, Keenan, for getting on time for once. Right. Southend Yeovil, if you can peer your minds back. Actually, should we see the goals? Because it was a while ago. Let's see if we can do that. You play down the left again. Charlie Kendall was very busy, wasn't he? Had a good game, I thought. We'll come on to him. Another boys' cross. Slight header from Keenan saved. And who else but Gus at the back post? Yet again. Putting the dance moves in as well. Yeah, deserves his celebration there. Good finish. Are we going to get the second goal? Yeah. Corner, Boise laid it off. Yeah, this is an interesting talking point we'll come to. It was late on. Keenan, we just talked about him. Was it over the line? We're not too sure. But we'll take that anyway. Yeah, we will take that anyway. Yeah, early goal. Obviously, Kendall caused a lot of problems down that left. Gus, yet again, at the back post. Great finish. I actually thought Kendall, Boyce and Coker all had a really good game. Thinking a lot down that left-hand side. It kind of reminded me a couple of years back, remember Bridgie and Fonguk when they were linking quite well. I mean, we've had a lot of players doing that recently, down that left. Austin has been a big one. He's doing really, really well with Boyce. But Boyce at the heart of all of it, isn't he? Charlie, start with you.
Yeah, no, spot on. I thought Boyce had a fantastic game, like you say, as did Kendall as well. We spoke about it before when Kendall's in the team. He's a typical player that just gets his head down and goes for goal. And you see, he's finishing Southport, wasn't it? Was it the Saturday before that great individual goal he has? He was high on confidence, and rightly so. I think he started that game, and we again started right on the front foot, and we're making a habit of scoring these early goals, aren't we? And
we are.
It's paying dividends because it really does give us something to hold on to and work. Gives us that momentum to build on. And again, that first half in Yeovil, we really did dominate. Again, it just come down to that lack of clinical finishing that we sort of so often talk about. But saying that, Gussie took his goal, I think, really, really well. I mean, Keenan will probably be disappointed he didn't actually score from the position he was in. Probably didn't quite get that header as cleanly as he wanted. However, Gus, like we know, has that habit of being in the right place at the right time in that box. And actually, if you look at the replay there, you'll see it's such a tight angle to score from, actually. From where I was sitting, I didn't realise it was such an acute angle, actually.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, so he actually took a really, really good finish. As you say, 3-4 minutes in, wasn't it? And then it gave us something to sort of really build on. And I thought the intensity was really good. I thought the pressure and the chances we created were really good. But yet again, it was just not being clinical enough. And it always leads to those edgy moments and nervy moments, as we've seen so many times on a Tuesday night. Fortunately, this time we was able to actually get the winner, which I'm sure we'll get on to very shortly.
Yeah, so we could have gone 2 up. We had a couple of penalty shouts. One was Boyce off the ball, which was maybe 50-50, but I don't know if you remember, Finn, there was an absolute blatant push in the back of, I can't even remember who it was, so many games rolled into one now, isn't it? But absolute blatant push in the back. Ref, I thought, was pretty poor.
Yeah, I thought the officiating all night was pretty poor, to be honest. And I mean, we're probably going to talk about some more poor officiating later as well with other games. But I mean, it's just to kind of be expected at this level now, sadly. But yeah, I mean, it's a clear penalty for me. I mean, talk about the goal. Like, it's hard to tell if it crossed the line, but I think it did. To be honest, if I'm brutally honest, I think it did cross the line. So
we're going to come to that in a minute.
Yeah, we will come to that. But yeah, it was. I thought it wasn't the prettiest performance, but we got the job done.
Yeah.
I think the thing was we just in the first half. I mean, we were clearly all game. I think we were the better team, and I think that there was a clear difference in quality. I don't think really at all they kind of looked better than us. But I think in the second half, it just seemed that I don't know if this was a tiredness thing or something else, but we just kind of sat back and kind of allowed them to come right onto us. And when they got their goal, then they sat so deep. So it was a bit frustrating to see us do that because we were better than them. But yeah, we got the job done. That's the important part.
Well, before they got their goal, we had one ruled out, Dallas. I don't know if you, from your angle, Charlie, if you could see if it was offside. It looked to me like Kendall got really deep into the byline and cost it. So I don't know how he was. Even Dallo said, I didn't think I was.
Yeah, I think it's one of those.
They ruled it out.
Yeah, it was really, really tight. I mean, where I sat, I was a little bit further down from you, obviously, but still, I didn't have a brilliant angle on it. And I think there was quite a few bodies in the box. It made it quite difficult to see it quite clearly. Initially, I thought it was a goal. I didn't see any reason why it wouldn't be. I thought Charlie got quite close to that touchline, to draw it back. But obviously the ref and the linesman see differently, as we come to expect.
They really do.
And they ruled it out, sorry. But like Finn, I think we just dominated. I mean, I don't remember Yeovil sort of spending much time in our half in that first half.
No.
I don't even think whether they even had a shot, to be fair. I think Colin may have touched it a couple of times, maybe, but I think that was more so just us passing it back to him and stuff to keep him warm. They didn't look, I thought they looked really, really poor in the first half, I must admit, which made it all frustrating that we was only going in at 1-0.
The goal that they got from Jake Wannell was great finish, really, really good finish. But like I say, they were we restricted them. I thought we had a really good half.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think, like I just touched on, I said, I think that was what the frustration was, that we was only going in at 1-0 because I couldn't see Yeovil coming out with another performance like that. And the second half, I don't know if it was a combination of we didn't come out with the same intensity and we just slowed the game down, whether it was we were, energy levels were dropping a bit and I thought, right, we'll just come off the gas a little bit, or whether it was that Yeovil, I know they made a couple of changes and they changed things up and, they put it to us a little bit more, but, whether we then sort of got dragged down to their level for a period of time. But then it sort of took halfway through the second half, to the last sort of third of that second half for us to then sort of really get a foothold of it again and dominate.
Well, yeah, as you said, the intensity that we applied in the first half, there was no way we were going to be able to keep that up. And, we could have done with being 2 or 3 up by half time because 1-0, we came out, I thought, a bit cold, as you say. Yeovil started to take hold of the game a little bit, getting back into it. And then Katie, 68 minutes, Kev did something I've not seen him do before, and that was bring on 4 subs all at once. We had Bridge, Austin, Hopper and Massey, and that was enough to get us through. It was a great decision.
Yeah, it was. I think it's quite bold for a manager to make 4 subs in one hit. It's either going to pay off or it's going to cause an upset, to be honest. But in this instance, thankfully, it paid off. I think it can shift the dynamic when you make that many substitutions, but it was a positive one, thankfully. So, yeah, all worked out in the end.
So, coming to the winning goal, Finn touched on it. We've seen highlights and we've seen the pictures. It's hard to tell, isn't it, whether it was in or not. The North Bank certainly, their claim for it. You've got what I don't get about the referees. They've disallowed that one in the first half from Dallas, which is really difficult to see. It was offside, and then that one, it seems even more difficult. But then we'll take it. I think they made enough bad decisions in that game. I just wondered if, talking to the players afterwards, 1 or 2 wasn't sure if it was in or not, but said maybe the ref was trying to even it up because they did seem to make a lot of bad decisions. Did you think it was in, Finn?
Yeah, as we said, it's hard to tell, even from those pictures, because Charlie said it before the podcast, but the kind of perceptions and stuff it's all very different from which way you look at it. But from the pictures, it looks like it's in. I think it's in, but I don't know. At the end of the day, I'll take it whether it's in or not.
You got to give credit to Keenan. He got up really high for it, didn't he?
Yeah, and both
really high.
Both goals kind of came from Keenan headers, which is funny considering he's a small player. But
he's so good at that, isn't he?
It sounds kind of ridiculous, but he is quite an aerial presence, to be honest, and he can jump so high. And I also think potentially some of the players around him, when it goes up in the air, they almost think that, probably because they don't know him, they probably think that there's no chance that he's going to win a header over them. So they maybe don't try hard enough to get the ball. Maybe don't jump
possibly
as high as they normally would. And he can just sneak in and get the headers, and he quite often does it. But he's a quality player, and I thought he had a good game as well. That game, to be honest, I thought he played well, and we're going to touch on it later. But I thought he had a good game against Sutton as well. But yeah, he's a great player.
Well, 3 points in the end. We'll take that going into obviously the weekend, and then we played Braintree next on Good Friday, as we said, Charlie's birthday. It was a very good Friday in the end. A first start for Alfie Massey. Charlie, what did you make of him? His brother said that it was the most minutes he's played, probably for about 8 months, because he's had a few hamstring problems. But I was really impressed with him. What did you make of him?
Yeah, I loved it, to be fair. I think the period of time that he came on at Yeovil, I think as that Yeovil tie got on, the more minutes he played in that game, you could see he was getting more and more confident on the ball, more and more at home, and he started sort of progressing a little bit further up the pitch. I thought his touch was really neat. I think he's just a really neat, tidy player, and I was really impressed with him at Braintree. I thought I probably wasn't expecting him to play. Did he play the whole game, or he right up till the end? Wasn't it? I can't remember.
Yeah, he played about 80 minutes. I think.
So I wasn't expecting him to play that long, to be honest with you.
I don't think he was,
and I don't think maybe Kevin necessarily intended him to, but obviously the way the game went and stuff may have forced that. Who knows? But I think it was good to get him, as there was talk, wasn't there, about the lone players not getting enough minutes and not seeing enough of them. And I think that was the perfect opportunity, and I think Kev played it perfectly, because he really did look comfortable in the middle of the park there. I was really happy with him.
Well, let's remind ourselves of the first goal, if we can see it, because it has been a while. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, again, boys, good big cross.
Was it Gubbins that put the
This
ball
time,
in?
Gussie off the bar, and Dallow, good striker's finish to get on the end of it. Finn, great start again, as you touched on, early start for us.
Yeah, absolutely. It was. I mean, we'll get onto it in a moment, but I think we made it more difficult than it needed to be in the end. But it was a great start, and it was. I mean, there was a good atmosphere, and I think I couldn't quite make out if it was Boys or Gubbins who put the ball in. I think it might have been Gubbins. This is not me being biased. I love Gubbins, but I think it might have been Gubbins.
It was that much of a quality cross. We all thought it was Boys.
But yeah, I mean, whoever it was a brilliant cross. And then, of course, Dallas gets on the end of it, and he's got so many goals now, and he's really picking up form as well. So if he keeps going like this, I mean, it's a really interesting race between him and Gus. They're so
it
close.
is.
I mean, last season it was really not close at all between the first and second goal scorer. I mean, it was basically just Gus, and he was miles ahead of anyone pretty much. But this season, now we've kind of got the complete opposite. We've got two players who literally match each other identically in goals. I mean, to have two players now on 15 goals each, I think. I mean, that's a crazy amount of goals for two players. So
and still quite a few games to go.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, if it gets to playoffs as well, which
they've got their own competition, haven't they? Those two.
Yeah, they have. So it'd be interesting to see who wins that in the end. I've noticed as well. I think every now and then you can see them where they probably would have passed normally. You can see them trying to shoot. They're definitely a little bit competitive about it.
Yeah. Well, 29 minutes. Sam Austin hit an absolute thunderbolt from range, rattled the bar. I think it's probably still shaking. And then we had a booking from Gus, which was. I don't know if you remember, Charlie, I thought it was very, very suspect. And obviously the foul was suspect. The booking wasn't, because he protested for it.
Yeah.
I could see his frustration, because the ref made mistakes all game.
Yeah, I mean, it was over the far side, I think, from what I can remember, and it didn't look. I think it may have even been like his first challenge or first foul. And obviously, there was a few challenges around before that, I think, where you thought, well, that should have been a free kick or booking. But you think, if he doesn't play the booking, then it's the continuity, be consistent with that. And I think that's where the frustration came with Gus, because the foul was the foul. I don't think there was any. It is what it is. I don't think the foul itself was a booking, but obviously he was upset with the decision that was made, which ultimately then cost him the booking. And you do see that with Gus, that he does wear his heart on the sleeve, and he will berate the ref if he feels that. But then the problem with that is that he's got the rest of the game. He's got to just keep his mouth shut. And there was a couple of incidents where you could see that he was, but had to just rein it in, because obviously he's already on a booking, and it just makes it frustrating and you can feel it from the players. Well, when the ref's making poor decisions, you see it with Kev, how many times Kev been booked this season and whatnot, and he alludes to, it's fine the ref coming back at the end of the game going, oh, sorry, I got that one wrong. But
he got one as well in that game, didn't he?
It's just not, but it's not good enough, is it? At the end of the day, these could be costly points, bookings. Yeah. You can see why players get frustrated with it, because a lot of them are just the simple decisions that, real nothing, decisions that they're getting wrong. And all you want is just get the basics correct, and it'll stop a lot of it.
Well, like I say, refs are going to make mistakes, the human like everyone else. But in this particular game, they made some bad ones, some really bad ones. Yeah. We'll come to that. We've got a second goal. Let's share. Dallas again. This time, great through ball by Sam Austin. Yeah, to put us 2-0 up. Obviously, he's 15th for the season, as Finn alluded to. Katie, great form Dallas is on at the moment, isn't he? Heading into hopefully the playoffs. Looking good for us.
Yeah, definitely. And like Finn said, it's good to have different goal scorers, both all putting in good shifts, because I think if you come to rely on one person, if they have an off day or just in general aren't at their best, then it's going to cost you 3 points essentially. But to have other options, and also, yeah, that finish, he could have quite easily panicked when you've got a defender and a goalkeeper running at you. But to have the calmness to be able to think, actually, if I just toe poke this rather than hit it with some force, then it will go in the end. So, yeah, I think if he keeps going the way he's going, then it's only going to be beneficial for the whole team. And obviously him finishing on a high in the season is going to be great too as well.
We had another good chance from Austin put through, put it wide. I'm not sure if it was a cross or a shot. I don't think he was too short, to be honest. We also had a penalty claim from Boise. The ref decided that he wasn't the last man, the defender that took him. Although chatting to Boise after, he said, I thought I was through enough to get a clean strike. And I agree with him. So for me, that was a very bad decision for the ref. But we went in 2-0. And you're thinking, I hope it's not like the Yeovil game where we've put so much energy into that first half that they come out. But no, we came out second half and we kind of carried on where we left off. And our boy, Ollie Coker, on 49 minutes. Have we got the goal? Good build-up involving James Golding. Yeah, he's been due a goal, hasn't he, Ollie? And we were happy to get our name on the announcement as well. So, yeah, Charlie, 3-0 up. Start the second half, we're coasting, aren't we?
Yeah, making light work of it, really, aren't we? At that point, you really thought, how many more can we score? We was looking really, really dangerous. Any opportunity you thought there's going to be another goal here, there's another goal come in. You just sensed it was that kind of afternoon. And then Braintree they had a couple of chances, half chances, nothing sort of clear cut that causes any real concern. But obviously they went on to then grab their first goal, which, was in real fortuitous circumstances.
It was a deflection as well, wasn't it, like Cokes?
It was a deflection, there's no one to blame. It's just one of those, isn't it? Look, it's exactly, Ollie done the same thing, wasn't it? You take a pot, keep it on target, and if it takes a nick, then, he's got half a chance. And, it sort of just looped over the head of Colin into the back of the net. But even at that point, you just still thought, well, we've got enough in us to see this through. And then the second goal came, and I think the frustration was, you could kind of see it. I think he picked the ball up sort of on the halfway line, and he was sort of just running.
Well, we lost possession, didn't we, in the final third?
Yeah.
And very quickly, just say he picked it up at halfway line, and a hell of a finish.
Yeah, it was, but you sort of defensively, I think you're being disappointed because I think you had the opportunity just to take the foul, further up the pitch there, and take the booking or whatever it may have, have been. But we sort of allowed him to run and run and run, and again, I suppose I thought, if you want to have a pop at this distance, then fill your boots. But it was a good little bit of skill on the edge of the box there. Give him half a yard to get a strike away, and it was a hell of a finish. You can't take nothing away from him for a great individual goal. But then it really then sets up a nervy last sort of 10 minutes or so. And you're thinking, how the hell are we in this position now? From looking so comfortable.
Well, I was keeping an eye on the Halifax score as well, and you're thinking, oh, please don't concede another one because it's going to get very difficult. But yeah, I've got to say, 10,000 fans almost came to see that game. Absolutely incredible turnout. And yeah, it was a really nervy end, wasn't it? Katie, I don't know if you saw the penalty shout, Charlie Kendall. Kev was furious. You can understand. What did you make of it?
I mean, I think it wasn't just Kev that was furious.
10,000 fans weren't too happy, or just under.
Yeah. No, it definitely was an interesting one. I just don't know how you can make a decision when you're that far away from play. I think, yeah, it's like you say, the decision making the past few games has been diabolical, but it's the inconsistency. When you're that far away, how can you make a decision as to whether, one, it's either inside or outside the box, or two, whether he's made contact with the player or the ball? You can't see that, so you have to give it, I think. And I think the 10,000 fans in Roots will agree.
I mean, at the time, both myself, Charlie, and everyone probably thought 100% penalty. How have you not given that? So I just thought I'd double check. I sent the footage to a friend of mine who's recently retired FIFA official. He's officiated in Champions League and World Cups and, the highest level. So I thought, ask him, he'll know. Quite often he gives a decent view because who knows the damn rules of the game anymore. And he just said he looked at it, and bearing in mind he's only seen it once from the video I sent him. He says possibly a free kick from outside. Ref seems to be caught far from play. This could be the reason why he made no credible decision. Now, that's the thing. I don't know what the rules are anymore. The foul definitely starts outside the box. You can see from the still. But I thought that if you take him into the box, pen. But what I don't get, there's definitely a foul, whether it's inside or outside. For the ref to give nothing was incredible. And I'm sorry, but if he's so far away from playing, you can see from the stills that provided that he only really gets to the edge of the box when the players are all getting up. That's how far behind the play he was. So the guy is just obviously inept at refereeing at this standard if he can't keep up with play. And it's not like it was in the 90th minute. It was well into the game. And what gets me, all right, he doesn't know. He ain't got a clue because he's too far away. So he gives nothing. But then you've got to look at your linesmen. How have they not seen it? Or at least flagged from there? I just don't. I give up. Charlie, I give up, mate. With these damn officials. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, sorry, for me, that's a penalty all day long. There's not even a debate. Even looking back on it now, and even it's like the pictures that you'll put on and you've shown, I still think it's a penalty because I think, like I say, the lino's got to give that. Like, the lino's got to be up with play when that comes, and the lino's got to be looking straight across. There's no crowd of players. It's just the two of them on the edge of that box, and it's just clear. There's absolute. I mean, I'm still got
he's rugby
now.
tackling
There's
the floor,
no words. There's no words. And if it is that it started off, it happened so quickly that the ref, there was no way he could see in real time that started outside the box. There's no way. On joys of slowing down and replays and all the rest of it, then you can go, well, it kind of started slightly out of the box. But I think at the point where he actually sort of pulls him down, if anything, it was on the line of the box. So as far as I'm aware, if it's on the line, it's a penalty. I stand by. I think it's 100%. It's a penalty. And I mean, I apologise to anyone who stood around because they
go up the other end, don't they, and get a free kick for something even less.
Yeah, and that's exactly.
And I think that's what incensed Kev,
because it was ludicrous decision that he completely misses that, yet he's able to give something that, and it was just. I don't know what was going through his mind, and like I alluded to with Gus, it's that's where the frustration comes because they're just guessing. Like that's as simple as it is. You've got to be 100% certain on those decisions, and they clearly weren't. And I think he actually comes out at the end of the game and speaks to Kevin and said, "Actually, I've got that one wrong."
He got an apology again.
Which,
yeah,
I mean,
Kev's had so many apologies.
Fortunately, it didn't cost us anything, but like we said before the podcast, like we were getting to the point of the season now where 1 point is very, the difference between 1 point and 3 points, or no points, do you know what I mean, can make a real difference. Braintree are fighting for relegation, at the time, we're fighting to stay up, we're fighting to try and consolidate the playoff position. You should just get the decisions correct. If you're not too sure, speak to your lino. It's madness.
And you've picked up on a great point there. I mean, we did manage to get away with it in the end, but in another day, it could have, been crucial. the fact they went down the other end, they could have put that in the back of the net, and we lose points, potentially not get promoted, or if this happens in the playoffs, it's big stakes, isn't it? Yeah. Huge stakes for these decisions.
I think as well, anywhere else on the pitch, that would be a free kick, no doubt.
You're right. And a yellow card.
Yeah, but because it could lead to a goal or something, he wanted to make sure he was 100% sure, which I don't see how you can ever be 100% sure in real time. But that's the frustration from the players. If that was on the halfway line, no doubt that would have been a booking free kick to us. But because it could lead to a goal scoring opportunity, he's not sure, so he's not giving it. But if you're not sure, don't give the pen, give the free kick. So I don't know.
We managed to see it out for the 3 points, thankfully, which was important because Halifax managed to score 90 plus 4 minutes and secure a 1-0 win, which kept it so tight a game. It could have been a very frustrating, could have been not such a great Friday, Charlie, in the end.
Very close, but yeah, like you say, we managed to hold on, and a well-deserved win, I'll add to that. I know that Braintree probably felt that you look at the score, it sounds like it was a lot closer game than it actually was. They scored probably 2 of their only shots on target, but ultimately I think we were much the better team. Which because Braintree have given us a real close game in recent years, but yeah, I thought we really dominated possession well, saw the game out, and yeah, we ended up getting the deserved win.
Okay, we will save the Sutton game to the halftime show. But before we get to that stage, got a statement to read out that was put out just before the Braintree game. I think it was a day or two. And it said this: Southend United Football Club has implemented a revised organisational structure as part of the planned evolution of the club's operating model. Following a period of internal review, the board has introduced a structure designed to create clearer accountability, improve operational efficiency and strengthen the foundations around both football and non-football operations. Under the new model, the club will move to a flatter structure with 2 senior roles reporting directly to the board: a director of football responsible for football operations and a general manager responsible for non-football operations. Recruitment for the director of football is well advanced, with an announcement expected imminently, whereas the recruitment process for the new general manager will now commence. The revised structure is intended to provide greater specialism, focus and speed in decision-making across the club. As announced earlier today, Tom Roberts will step down from his role as Chief Executive Officer at the end of the current season, and the board reiterates its appreciation for his contribution to the club over the last few years. We'll comment on a second statement in a moment, but yeah, big changes, obviously. We knew that it was going to happen. Kevin Gage has now been announced, I think it was about 2 hours ago, as the new director of football. We'll talk about that in a moment. But Tom Lawrence, you've got to say, first of all, what a difficult job he's had. What a brilliant job he's done as well, Charlie.
Yeah, I think it goes without saying that without Tom Lawrence, we wouldn't probably have a club. I think, the work that he's done behind the scenes, which probably, most people won't know about, but, you sort of read of things that he's done for this club, whether that's helping financially through his own personal finances. I think at one point, he was on a tractor shoveling soil, was it, or something? Now, it's just unbelievable.
Right. Yeah.
I went down there to clean all the seats and stuff, and he was there helping then and stuff, and he's a real unsung hero. Without doubt, we owe a lot of credit to that man for even having a football club today. I understand he's still going to be involved. I think he's still part of COSU, isn't he? Still part of...
Yeah, I think he's going to be kind of director role for now.
Yeah, so we're not losing him completely. Obviously, this whole restructure, it does mean there had to be some changes and movement within that. But you can kind of understand it as well, because have come in, they've got their own ideas, and something needs to change. We can't keep running the way we are with the losses we're making. The restructure does need to happen, and I appreciate that comes at a loss to some people being made redundant and some real hard decisions. I'm sure.
Yeah, which is always difficult, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely, and I'm sure Cosby wouldn't have made his decisions lightly, but unfortunately, that's the sort of the tough end of the gig, I suppose, if you like. That these decisions have to be made, and ultimately, it's, you know, we hope it's for the better of the club, and, you know, it means that we can look to progress in years to come.
Yeah, and as you say, it seems that Tom has been multitasking so many jobs down the years, and that's so difficult to run the football side of it, run the structural side of it, dealing with health and safety certificates and God knows what else. Yeah, like you say, a couple of years ago I went down to clean the bird poop. There was only about three of us, and Tom got his suit off and came and give us a hand as well. And there's no job too much for him. And yeah, just massive thanks goes out to Tom and all his work he's done. Such a lovely guy as well. Proper worker. Yeah, so thanks got to go out to Tom. Let's continue with the statements. As part of the restructuring process, a number of roles across the club have been impacted. The board would like to place on its record sincere thanks to all departing staff, including a number of long-serving colleagues, for their contribution to Southend United over many years. Alongside this, new roles have been created within the revised structure, with opportunities initially made available to internal candidates as part of the internal consultation process. Roles not filled internally will now be taken to market as the club continues to build out the new structure. It also goes on to say, as part of the evolution, the club can confirm a number of changes within the football department. John Steele will be stepping away from the club at the end of this week. We thank John for his contribution leading recruitment and for his guidance and support to many across the club during his time here. Jason Demetria will also leave the club following the conclusion of his contract at the end of the season. We thank Jason for his contribution both during his playing career and more recently in his coaching and scouting role. In addition to the incoming director of football, we'll be appointing a new head of recruitment with an appointment expected to be announced shortly. So I mentioned it wasn't Kevin Gage, it was Oliver Gage. Kevin Gage is his father, who you will know from his playing days at Sheffield United. So, yeah, Oliver Gage coming in, lots of changes. Finn, obviously, John Steele has been around with us for a few years now, and Jason working alongside him. Well, Jason's done every role, actually, hasn't he? Even played in goal and 100% record as a manager as well.
Yeah. I mean, two kind of legends of the club as well. I think people have their views on our recruitment and stuff, but over the years. But I think we've brought in some fantastic players over the past few years. I mean, even recently, like Harry Boys. I mean, what a pickup that was.
Yeah.
And so many players in the team now came through John Still. You know, you look at Gus, Harry Taylor. So many players over the years. So yeah, I mean, it's always sad. As Charlie said, it's always sad to see people go, but hopefully, fingers crossed, it's for the better of the club, and hopefully it works out for us. But I mean, the director of football, that's an interesting one because
an interesting move.
Yeah, because I don't. It's not something very common for kind of a club at this level to do, but I mean, maybe that's because fans often try. We do it every week. We try and sit here and pick apart performances, pick apart why we're not right up at the top of the table and that sort of thing. So maybe this is what we need to just give us that little edge to get into the Football League. You never know. So I'm feeling positive about it, to be honest. I think it's a bold move, but I think it sounds like something that could work. And yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens, but I think it's a good time to get him in because there's some big choices at the end of the season with contracts up and
he's got a big job on his hand, hasn't he, Oliver?
Yeah, he has. Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see what happens to that. It'll be interesting to see what other changes happen as well at the end of the season, maybe with coaching staff and stuff. You never know what might happen there. But yeah, he's got a busy job for the summer.
Charlie, how do you think that will work with Kev? Because obviously, I think Kev has had the final decision. We were told previously on players that John bring in, and but the director of football is going to have that now, isn't he?
Yeah. So I mean, I think for this season, very little will change. To be honest with you, I don't think. I mean, obviously there can't be any changes in terms of personnel coming in. With the window closed now, so I think Kev will be left to just carry on, especially at a real critical part of the season now. The last thing you want is someone coming in, flexing their muscles and saying, no, you need to do this differently. I think you should do this, because it could have a real negative impact on, on the club. So I think, we've got real momentum at the moment, and I don't think he'll come in right now to sort of come into it. I don't think he is even a case of coming in to upset the apple cart. It's here to try and progress the club and take it that next step forward. So I can't see anything happening between now and the end of the season with regards to who should be playing, systems, setups, all that sort of side of things. I think that will be very much dependent. I think a lot of it will depend on where we are next season, whether that's in the EFL or the National League. I think there'll be some conversations around that depending on where we are. I think, if we're in the National League, will people look and go, we've been in it 5 years now, do we need to mix it up? Do we need to make the changes now? Or will it be, okay, we'll keep it with Kev, but we've now got a director of football in to sort of assist him with fresh ideas, fresh eyes, see how that plays out. Or will they come in with someone completely different? Alternatively, if we do make League Two, then you go, you know what, we've got the real sort of nucleus of the club here. Isn't it? Like, let's now just, we might be able to pick some of these players that we may not have been able to have access to before being in the National League. Because also, when you're a Football League club, it's a lot more appealing for players, and the market opens up a little bit more. So some really, really interesting things coming out, and I'm quite excited to see what's ahead, to be honest with you.
Yeah, interesting times. Okay, coming up in the halftime show, we've got teammates from Ben Goodliffe, and we'll have reaction from Sutton. We had another game to get through. We'll be back in a moment.
This is the halftime show in memory of John Gorrell.
Okay, the debate episode 3 is out now. If you want to have a listen to that, it's on YouTube, Spotify, and everywhere else. We chat about central midfielders, Charlie, this time, didn't we? And a very interesting career in the line of coaching for Peter Butler. It's quite a funny listen, that one.
That would be good, Finn, for one of your trivia quizzes. Name every club, or you get a point for every club that he's managed. There's about 50, so there's a lot of points up for grabs. But I mean, that's absolutely.
Yeah. Can you remember 2, Charlie?
Bengal. There was it Bengal Tigers or Ladies, or there was some.
Bangladesh ladies,
Bangladesh ladies. Yeah, there was some absolute. Like I said to you, a lot of them sounded like five-a-side teams that I've played against before, and that like they were just madness. But yeah, interesting.
Yeah, do have a listen. That's out now, and we'll have another legend interview coming up real soon. That will be revealed. Okay, I met a lovely lady called Katie at the Yeovil game. Working for a charity called Gold Geese. Let's just see what they're about.
That diagnosis, you can't explain how that must impact a family. I think the effect is devastation.
Your child should not die before you do, and therefore you will do everything you can.
Gold Geese has been set up to try and soften the blow of childhood cancer. We are here for each individual family's needs, and that could be from anything from food shopping vouchers if they're financially struggling, to having someone on the end of the phone if they're feeling emotionally isolated, work alongside the hospitals to provide transport in and out of hospital, and we offer bereavement support as well if it's needed.
Yeah, brilliant charity. Lovely people they were. Yeah, they provide practical and emotional support to families of children and young people fighting cancer in southeast Essex. Do an amazing job. You can donate by going on goldgeese.org. Just look them up and you can donate via their Just Giving page. Another charity to tell you about is, I just saw it today actually, it's about Parkinson's UK. There'll be a charity match on the 4th of May. That's the bank holiday weekend at Roots Hall. And 100% of the proceeds are going to the charity. It's likely to be a couple of days after my dad's funeral. And he suffered with very advanced Parkinson's. So I know how difficult that disease is. So I absolutely will be there, 100%. And if you are free, get yourself along. I'm sure it'll be a great event and we'll raise lots of money for that charity. So yeah, Gold Geese and Parkinson's UK, do support them. Okay, we've got teammates from Ben Goodliffe somewhere.
Best dressed, I would say that's probably Josh Walker, and worst dress is Leon. Best and worst trainer, I'd say best trainer is Mortz. I don't feel like there is any bad trainers, so I can't really answer that one. Worst playlist, I can't really say anyone because Gus is normally on the music. It's normally just one person, so I can't really give you that one. Actually, worst playlist since he's been in, Wayne. He's been putting on some rascal music in the gym, not my kind of taste. Who is always late? Keenan. Today he was late. Most intelligent, Hops. Hops is most intelligent. He's studying his law degree, so it has to be him. Who needs help? Leon, without a doubt. That's a quick answer. Who pays the most attention to themselves in the mirror? Has to be Cokes. Has to be Cokes. What's the most creative excuse you've heard for missing training? I haven't heard any, No one really misses training. Sometimes people are late for stuck in traffic or just sleeping through, but no one's ever missed training. Best training ground skills. Daz or Benno? Daz has still got it. He puts in balls on the money when we're doing set pieces or joins in training, so I'm going to have to say Daz.
Yeah, that was Ben Goodliffe. Keenan. It's the new me. Oh, honestly, that boy. Right, Sutton versus Southend. That was yesterday. Now, interesting start to the game because one of the Lions, I understand, travelled to the wrong Sutton. He went to Sutton Coldfield, 146 miles away. Thank God we weren't playing Boston. It would have taken him a lot longer to get his bearings, wouldn't it? Oh, you couldn't write it with these officials in this league, could you?
Only 150 miles out.
I don't know how that happened because surely
He's a pillock. That's how it happened.
Yeah.
It was just a creative Sutton United, like Google, you find your way.
Like, I'm not being funny. Like, do like the referees? Like, I don't know. This might be like really naive of me, but like if you know, like you're officiating like tomorrow night, for example, like, is there not like a little WhatsApp, like a referee WhatsApp chat, and go right, guys, you're my linesman this week, fourth official such and such, you're repping. Here's the postcode of where we're playing. Be there at this time. Don't forget your whistle, your cards, and your kit. Like,
Charlie, they can't even communicate to each other 20 yards across the pitch.
I mean, it's pretty.
Let alone you expect them to communicate with WhatsApp.
I mean, it's gone quite far. Then I see Talk Sport put it on. I was reading looking online. I think it's online. It's on the news. Like, it's everywhere. Like, he's not going to get away from that.
Surely, if you're going to the game, you just put in the sat nav. You just put in the postcode of the stadium.
Yeah.
I don't know how on earth would you possibly. And is he never like? The thing is, like, he's a referee at this level. Like, and I imagine he's probably refed some other games at this level before, maybe.
Yeah.
Surely he knows
not anymore.
Sutton United is.
But
I just don't understand. I think he's just wanting a day off work. I honestly do.
I mean,
that's the thing. You attended one of 1,420 that attended. Absolutely brilliant. What exactly? When did you know about this? Did they ask someone to step up?
The first time I heard about it was Chris Phillips put out a tweet.
Yeah.
That was the
Right.
first time I kind of heard about it.
Can anyone do the line?
Can I, like,
Yeah, this was before the game. It was like quite a bit before the game, so we knew about it quite like whilst we were before the players had even come out, I think, to warm up. But it was just we couldn't believe what we were hearing, really.
like on that, like if I was like got a game and I put in my sat nav, it's 150 miles away. Like, would you not have thought, oh, that's a bit of a journey? I probably would have stayed up the night before or
At
something.
what point
Like,
did he go, hang on, this is wrong?
yeah, like, oh, well, I'll make that journey anyway.
Yeah.
Like, just
See, if they've got a
imagine, like, he
team,
just
they might
turns
wanna
up.
like that.
It'll just turn up. It's like that meme where you got the two Supermans looking at each other, isn't it? It'll just be like these two refs staring at each other, like pointing, like, "What you doing here? No, what you
You
doing
couldn't
here?"
write
Like,
it, could you? Only in the National League.
But I swear, every time we play against Sutton away, there's an interesting story. Like last time I've seen it was the
American guy,
This
wasn't it?
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Every time we play against Sutton away, something weird happens.
What will
It's
be
just
next year?
like first
Strange.
game.
You start taking our bets. What'll happen next year?
Yeah.
Unreal. Well, DAZN put out a statement saying the game wouldn't be broadcast live, so that really hacked me off. So I ended up clearing my shed out and then saw the goals after the game. Katie, did you get caught out by that as well?
I was actually travelling home yesterday, so I wouldn't have been able to watch it anyway. But I did see that they put out that it wasn't available, and there was quite a few angry comments underneath
Yeah,
it.
there was.
Can understand why, especially being bank holiday. People probably made plans to watch it with friends or even on their own. But yeah, it said unforeseen circumstances, so I'm not really sure what had happened.
I could be wrong.
The cameraman went to
did
Sutton
come on.
Coldfield, probably.
Yeah, I was going to say, did
Yeah.
it come on in the end?
You did. In about 10 minutes into the game, it came on.
Yeah,
Well,
by then I
didn't
was
miss
clearing my
much, I
shed
guess.
out.
Yeah, I mean, I was at work, so I sort of had it in the background between. I probably shouldn't air this, but yeah, it's.
No, you didn't.
I wasn't really. I was just I was doing all my admin tasks, but no, I was like, I forgot to say, like, especially you pay money as well to watch it.
Yeah.
Luckily, nothing happened in the first 10 minutes, but
No.
yeah, not good.
Yeah, so first half, 0-0. We had 10 shots, 4 on target, 68% of possession. Sutton, no shots whatsoever. And Halifax losing to Tamworth 1-0. You're thinking, we just got to put the ball in the net. Finn, how was that first half?
Yeah, it was it mixed emotions because it was like one of the best halves I think we've played in a while, actually. Even though we're on a great run of form, we genuinely played really well. We were attacking them, we were going at them. We were absolutely relentless. I mean, I don't even, let alone have a shot. I don't even know if they really had it in our half, to be honest. Like maybe once, maybe twice, but it was one of the most dominant kind of halves of football I've ever seen. But for us not to get that goal, and I mean, we should have had a goal as well. We should have had probably 2 or 3. I mean, that's probably been. Probably should have been more than that, to be honest, but it's just the way football goes. I mean, Gus had one that he definitely should have scored. I mean, he made up for it later on, but he had one that was like, for some reason, so he took it, he was really close to the goal, and he took it on his weak foot when he wasn't really under any pressure, and kind of just, it was a weird move, because if he'd taken it on his right, it was not a very hard finish to us, even though the keeper's there. But, yeah, I mean, it was I wouldn't even say it was frustrating, but not in terms of our performance, because I think we played really, really well. But it was just frustrating that we didn't score. That's basically it. Because nobody really booed or anything like that. Not that you'd expect them to at 0-0, but everyone kind of cheered. It was a positive atmosphere. So, yeah, frustrating we didn't score, but a good half.
Well, no goes in 45, and then 3 come along at once. So Katie started off the first goal. They wasn't sure whether it was Charlie Kendall got a toe on it, but then later on they gave it as I don't know if you saw it. They gave it as Slavy's goal. It looked like he put a cross in and it bobbled under the goalkeeper's legs. No one else touched it. So Slavy gets the goal, 1-0. It's been his first start for a while, actually, hasn't it? So he'll be happy with that. However they go in.
Yeah, definitely. I didn't actually see it, but like you say, a goal's
Nor
a
did the
goal at the end of the
goalkeeper.
day. Yeah. Especially, I think that sort of kick-started the momentum a little bit. It's almost what they needed to do in the first half, but hadn't really been able to do. But yeah, at the end of the day, whoever put it in the back of the net, it didn't really matter. just needed to go in.
Yeah, it just took that one, didn't it, to open the floodgates, and then it was 7 minutes later, number 2. Boys did get across this time, and it kind of hit Gus and went in. So, right place, right time. And Gus is 14th for the season. He was happy with that. Doesn't matter how they go in, but 2 reasonably fortunate goals after a long half of no balls going in. 2-0 to Gus.
Absolutely, yeah, and he did really well to get his 2 goals. I mean, the second one was a brilliant goal, up there with probably goal of the season. I mean, from where I saw it, it was a brilliant finish. It wasn't a straightforward kind of lob shot. It was the curl that he got on it and the technique. It was really solid.
Yeah, beautiful.
And I think Slavy and Kendall up top, I think they work really well together. And like, as much as I love Kendall and Dallas individually, I've just always kind of had a bit of a worry over if they actually work well together and have that kind of chemistry. It just feels like whenever they play together, they don't necessarily do badly, but like, for me, you might disagree, but for me, it just doesn't ever seem like they do quite as well as I expect them to do up top together. But Kendall and Spazov have that chemistry and they work so well together. And their work rate up top was fantastic all game. And it's great to see Slavy get a goal. He's actually got more goals than Kendall this season, believe it.
Yeah, he's had third top goal scorer now, isn't he, on 9 goals, which is incredible because he's not been in the picture for quite a while. No. But yeah, those 2 goals for Gus. Yeah. Puts him on 15 with Dallas now, as we said. And, 9 goals now for Slavy. So he's chipping away. Yeah,
I've got to say as well, Phil, I think, obviously, I was a little critical of him after the Southport game. But Morton, I mean, I think he played well. And, if I'm going to criticise someone, I've got to say when they play well. And I do think him and Austin as well, I think, have played really much better in recent weeks.
Yeah, three assists in 3 for Austin now.
Yeah, and I think I meant to say it earlier, but he had a good game against I think it's Braintree. I think it was. It's hard to remember with all these games, but he looks so much better in that game, and they're really starting to pick up a bit of form, which is good to see because I think with those 2, there's a player in there. We've seen that they can perform. It's just about finding that consistency, but. Yeah, I mean, Golden was absolutely superb against, probably in all 3 games, to be honest. And I think, to be honest, that he looks better now than he did last season. I mean, he's so strong, and so the way he drives play forward, he just skips past players. Like, he's clearly a player that could be playing League One kind of standard. For me, I think he's a quality player. And if we can keep on to him, then that'd be amazing. But I'm not sure. We'll have to see.
There's a couple of points Steve touched on. I can't remember the game. It was a few games now at home. I don't know if you remember when we started Bright, and there was a fantastic play down the left. Ended up with boys crossing it and Dallow putting in probably our goal of the season. And again, Austin was involved in that. Charlie's been involved a lot recently, hasn't he? And I've kind of said I thought he should be doing a lot better than he was. He started well and then went off the ball, but he's really picking his form up at the right time, isn't he?
Yeah, and it makes you wonder, is it just playing regularly? Obviously, he's found it hard at times to sort of nail down a place, and as we know, the midfield is probably our most congested sort of area, and where we probably get a lot of our sort of turnover in terms of players. We don't sort of have a set 4 that will play week in, week out as often, especially with the congestion that we've had, that's your sort of engine room, isn't it? So you want people to be fresher. There, understandably, there's been a lot of change and rotation in that area. But Austin sort of found himself, probably because of the congestion, where he's sort of missed out being in the squad. He's now sort of started the last 2-3 games, and like you say, he's played really, really well. He's sort of grown in confidence, and he's been instrumental in some of the goals that we've scored in terms of starting it out, setting it up, and getting into that final third.
Well, another point Finn touched on, you mentioned Kendall and Sparsov as a pairing. I think Kev's favourite pairing at the moment is Hop and Dallas, who seem to be working really, really well together. I think Dallas, we've tried him with a few different strikers, haven't we? And he seems to be getting the best out of him alongside Hopper. So you've got those 2, Hopper and Dallas, Kendall and Sparsov. Katie, we've got Cardwell back on the grass again, training, not too far away. Are we looking at another pairing, Cardwell and Walker? Because Walker's another player he's been well out of the picture, hasn't he? And strangely, I was thinking about this yesterday. Mason obviously got that head injury a few games ago, wasn't it, away? And then there was a protocol where he couldn't play, but he seems to be fit now. But Kev has not been putting him on the bench. We've been going with 7 outfield players. Josh is one of those, but he's not had any action at all. I just wonder where he stands now, because he's seeing all these other strikers scoring goals, playing. Is it just a case of you've just got to be patient and just keep doing what you're doing in training, or where does he stand? And is that another potential pairing that we'll see in the playoffs?
Yeah, I think it's hard. Like, at the end of the day, we have been scoring a lot of goals recently, so sort of from the lines of you don't change what's not broken or something. So he doesn't want to mess with the pairing he's picked at the minute. But if you don't give these players a chance, they're never going to be able to prove themselves as well. I see it from a player's perspective as well. So it's a tough one. I mean, I think if they're performing in training and it's an equal playing field, then why not give them a chance? But then again, is it worth it this close to the back end of the season? Every great game is crucial now. Do you stick with what you know works, or do you try something different? I think it's a 50-50. And I guess only Kev will know what the answer is to that, because he sees them at training. Yeah.
Well, I was keeping an eye on the game, and I was keeping an eye on Halifax as well. And they were, I think they were 2-0 down when they pulled back to 2-2, and then got a penalty in 90+6 and missed it, which is great for us, because that obviously puts us now 5 points clear with 2 games in hand, with a superior goal difference that you mentioned last week, Charlie.
Yeah.
So we now just need 4 points to secure playoffs. But I think that's what we can start looking at now, because I think Halifax have kind of put themselves out of it. Don't want to speak too soon, but, I think it'll be a tough uphill battle for them. But in 6th, we've got Forest Green Rovers. Now, they're 4 points ahead of us. In 5th is Scunthorpe with 7 points ahead, and we've got 2 games over both of them. So that would make us leapfrog Forest Green, and that would put us just 1 point behind Scunthorpe if we were to win both those games. Big question to all of you, and I'll go around. That could make a big difference as to who we play. I think 7th place, you would play Boreham, but I think if we finish 6th, we would play Scunthorpe, and if we finish 5th, we would play Scunthorpe, but play them at home. Who would you rather play in the playoffs? Where would you rather finish at the moment? Would it be Boreham or Scunthorpe?
I'll just put something else into this. I generally mean this as well. You look at that congestion with Boreham Wood also losing yesterday. They're still reachable if we really want to get. It may leave it to the final game, but that potentially we could get there. But I think personally, I can see us getting to what would be 5th place, wouldn't it? I can see us leapfrogging Forest Green, and I can see us leapfrogging Scunthorpe, to be honest with you. I really can. And I think having that home tie, although last year, those away ties done us wonders, but yeah. I think a playoff game at home, that a sellout crowd, the crowd will be absolutely up for it. That atmosphere will be electric, and I think that's what you want, isn't it? Because there's a lot of away journeys in that. Other than Boreham Wood, there's a lot of travelling to do.
And we've had a lot of away fixtures this year, haven't we? In the cup as well.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to get home.
And I know eventually. In the cup you'll look at that and go, yeah, well, it suited you. We managed to get through to the final of it.
Yeah.
But playoffs, it's a different kettle of fish, isn't it? You've got some real good quality teams there, and if we can, I know that we'll travel well to them, but ultimately you want that tie at home, don't you? I think you want that home advantage. So personally, I can see us getting to 5th. I really do. And I mean, you just got to win each game, haven't you? Let's just chip away, win our games, and then what will be will be. But as a fan, and and us discussing this on here, if you look at that table and you see what is realistic and achievable, then yeah, let's go to fifth, and I think that's a real realistic opportunity as well. I mean, I don't know
let's
what
have a
Finn and
look
Katie
at
think.
who those sides have got. Did I have it somewhere? So Forest Green, they have got left to play Braintree at home. You'd expect them to get points there, wouldn't you? Hartlepool away could be tricky. And Morecambe at home. I mean, Morecambe have had an unbelievable resurgence recently. I'm not sure they're going to be saved, but yeah, they'll certainly give that a fight. And then we've got Scunthorpe have got left. Brackley at home, you'd expect that. Wealdstone away could be a tricky one. And Eastleigh at home, who are also fighting. So that could be a tricky one there. And then Boreham, they have got Hartlepool at home. Morecambe again could be a big team in this playoff run. And Sutton at home. Finn, who would you fancy at the moment playing in the playoffs out of those three clubs?
Well, I mean, to be honest, if we play like how we are at the moment, I fancy us against any of them. But maybe that's just because I'm a little bit biased. But I think Boreham Wood on paper and how they play, I think they're the best team of the lot.
We just never do well, do we, against them?
No, they're just such a quality team. The recruitment they've done is fantastic, and we spoke about it. I think it was last week when it was me, Charlie, and John. We spoke about their loan signings and stuff, and I mentioned Josh Landers, and he's scored already.
Yeah,
for them. So they've got another striker added to their ranks. Who's a
but it does show that you can fracture them. I mean, looking at their result yesterday, Solihull, who saw that coming?
No, absolutely. They're beatable, but I think any of those teams are beatable, really. And I think even Carlisle, I think, could be beatable. I mean, we went to their place and got a good point. So I think, to be honest, I think the weakest of the lot is probably Scunthorpe. I mean, probably Forest Green, but I don't know. Yeah, Forest Green, but then I don't think it's Scunthorpe.
I'd love to beat Robbie Sanders again.
They've not been. They've had a good run of form on paper, but they're not. I don't think they've got quite the quality that Boreham Wood do. I think Boreham Wood are the hardest, and it's between Scunthorpe and Forest Green for me.
Katie, who would you take?
I think I agree with Charlie. Any home tie would be better over anything. But we've taken a point off Boreham this season, whereas we haven't got anything from Scunthorpe. I think it would depend on the day. I think the results in the top seven, like in the past couple of weeks this season, have been up and down. They've been crazy. The ones no one expected. I mean, you look at the run we had when we lost the bottom of the league and then beat top of the league. So I think it depends what team you get on the day. But I agree, any home tie would be better than an away tie. I think fill out Roots Hall, really get the fans going, and it's a 12th man, isn't it? And then anything can happen.
Yeah. Well, we've got remaining Solihull at home this Saturday. We'll come to that shortly. Aldershot away. That is one of our games in hand. And if we pick up 4 points from those two, then that's it. Playoff secured. Then the next game, Halifax away, that won't matter. Obviously, if we don't pick up maximum points, then they're going to be fighting us, that game. And then we've got Hartlepool away and dodgy old Wealdstone at home. So, yeah, hopefully, Charlie, we'll have it wrapped up by then. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Going to Halifax and not having to worry about it.
That would be nice. Yeah, you don't want... we see how it was last season, relying on the final game of the season to determine whether you made it or not. You want to have it in your hands, don't you? You want your destiny made yourself. You don't want to be relying on other teams dropping points and that. We've got ourselves into a really, really good opportunity and position, especially these 3 wins over the Easter bank holiday. That's 4 wins in all competitions now. Yeah. That is huge at this stage of the season with just the momentum. This is the point where you want that momentum. We're scoring quite freely. And even when we're not, we're creating opportunities. Now, I'd be more worried if we wasn't creating chances, but we're creating abundance of a chance.
Players are coming into form, aren't they?
Yeah, and we touched on it earlier about Dallow and Gus, both on 15 goals. And I think the fact that those two have got probably their own little mini kind of sort of jewel, if you like, within the team as to clinching that only drives each other on. That spurs each other on in a real positive way for us. Slavy, he's getting on the score sheet, and Slavy, I suppose, if you look at his goal ratio to goals to minutes is probably a lot higher than the rest of our strikers. Obviously, Kendall's, he's very capable. He's hitting the score sheet. We've got Hopper.
7, I think he's got now,
and you've got to remember as well, into this playoff run, we're still missing key players. Parallon, we've got Riley, we've got Ralph, Cardwell. You know, that's your core. You know, that's 5 players there that would, or 4 or 5 players that would be on your starting lineup. So, you know, if we can get them all fit and in the frame for the playoffs as well, we could look real dangerous, and I think we could look at trying to get really far. And fingers crossed, it'll be 2 trips to Wembley in consecutive weekends, which would be absolutely amazing achievement.
Well, it's not dissimilar to last season, is it? Where we kind of picked up late form and started to gather momentum. Players started to find their form, and the other clubs are kind of looking over their shoulders. Yeah. I think the difference is this year, though, as you said, last year we were relying on Gus a lot to get those goals, but we've got 2 players fighting for those goals and quite a few behind them as well. And like I say, Cardwell to come as well. So we are looking really good. And I've got to say, big credit to Kev, because playing 3 games in 7 days at any stage of the season, let alone this stage of the season, is always difficult. And I think he managed the selections and the minutes and the recovery of the players really, really well.
Yeah.
We're in a great
this season
now.
As well, it differs. I think we're a lot more balanced as a team. I think last season we was heavily reliant on that right-hand side, Gus getting the goals, Bridgie trying assist, whereas now we've got it on both sides, and we're both real good quality, and we've got that threat through attack as well. And I think, we look a lot more balanced team going forward, and I'm excited for it.
Happy days. Looking good. Right. Coming up next, Solihull at home. Let's just check their form guide. So they are sitting in 13th place on 51 points, 67 for, 68 against. Their last 6 games, they've got 2 wins, 2 draws, 2 defeats. But before that, they had no wins in 7, and 5 of those ended in defeat. I think a big reason for their turning form is probably a player that I rate really highly, and that is Joe Sabara, a player they had a couple of years ago. Has come back on loan from Doncaster, and he scored 3 in the last 4. Finn, he's a player I think you're impressed with as well. It's one we got to watch, isn't it?
Yeah, he's definitely one we've got to watch. And to be honest, I'm not going to be negative about this game, but I'm a little bit nervous because I just think, we've seen what they've just done to Boreham Wood, but I just think they're just one of these teams that they're not going to get in the playoffs. Almost certainly, they're not going to get in the playoffs, and they're not going to get relegated. And whilst that might be like, they've got nothing to play for, but they've also got no pressure at all.
Yeah,
they're just totally unpredictable. Are they going to turn up and not care, or are they going to turn up and just have no pressure on them? So they're just going to play brilliantly. I don't know. I don't think we should at all think this is going to be an easy game. I think it's going to be a tough game, to be honest. I don't think it'll be hugely high scoring. I think it'll be a gritty game. Yeah.
Well, it's one of Dallas's and Boys' old clubs. Hopefully, they will equally be really up for it. And they've also got 21-year-old goalkeeper who hasn't appeared all season on the bench. Guy that we spoke about, Charlie, with his dad earlier in the season, Aaron Flahaven. Laurie Walker's obviously been the preferred choice, but Southend connection there. So a few Southend connections across this game. Yeah, but you got to fancy us, haven't you?
Yeah, and why not? The momentum, the confidence that we've got is rightly so. It should be high. Coming off, and I think it's important as well. Coming off the back of a clean sheet is quite big as well, because it's great for the strikers scoring and stuff, but we have conceded in recent weeks, and although it hasn't, cost us ultimately, defenders and goalkeeper want that clean sheet, so they'll be really buoyed by, a good, comfortable 3-0 away performance to something to real build on. I don't see it being a huge worry for us, to be honest with you.
Katie, he's obviously had 6 days to rest and train with the players that he's not had the previous week. Obviously having 3 games in that period. Who do you think he's going to go with up top? Do you think he's going to go Kendall and Slavy, or do you think he'll go Hopper and Dallas? Maybe he'll mix it up and do something completely different.
I think Hopper and Dallas probably, because I think they've been a bit more consistent. I think either choice would be good because at the end of the day they're both scoring goals. But I think this is a key. I mean, all of them are key games, but I think this one is, like you say, if we can get 4 points, then we're like in the next few games, then we're
job
guaranteed.
done, isn't it?
Yeah, so I think these next few games really are crucial, and I think it's proved that it's worked. So why not go back to what we know works and see how we get on? I mean, that's why you have subs. If it doesn't work, you can always change it. But I think you've got to go for it from the off.
Well, let's get some predictions. Like I say, this is a tricky one because they got a freak result against Boreham yesterday. Like you say, Finn, you have no idea what you're going to get from them. I'm sure we will go out the blocks really early, try and get that early goal again. Who are we going to start? I'm going to start with you, Katie.
That's a bit mean. I'm going to go 2-0. 2-0. I think we will get an early goal. We seem to like... Yeah. We seem to like an early goal at Roots Hall. Yeah, I think I'll go 2-0. Early goal and then...
Early goal we do, yeah.
And then maybe about 70th minute. I think it'll be a close game, but I think we'll come out on top.
Finn.
So I never predict losses, and I think it'd be stupid to predict a loss now, considering how good of a form we're on.
Yeah, what's wrong with him?
I'm not feeling negative about this game. I just think it'll be tough, and I think it'll be a cagey kind of one of those games. But I'm going to say a 1-1 draw. It's not like the most exciting prediction, but I just think it's going to be a tough one.
And then going to Aldershot to get 3 points, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. I think we're due a draw. We can't. Well, we could win 5 in a row, but I think we're due a draw.
Charlie, are we going to draw or are we going to have an unbeaten run to the end of the season?
We're going for an unbeaten run, aren't we? This is it now, all the way to Wembley.
Pick up 2 trophies, yeah. You just won it all, didn't you?
Yeah, 2, right. We've waited long enough, haven't we? No, I mean, I don't know if you was at the game at Braintree, I think it was. Someone predicted, they did a little bit before the game started, the announcement of like predictions, and there was one fan, he put some money on a 6-2 Southend win against Braintree. At the time, he thought not a chance. Obviously, as it got to 3-2, he thought, oh, hang on, there you go. I think he got odds of like 75 to 1 on it. I don't know how much he put on it. So, I mean, I'd love to be as optimistic as him, saying a 6-2 or win. But I do see I just think the confidence through the team will just drive us on. I think that those standards have been set now. And I think even anybody that's coming into that team, if there is any rotation, they know the levels they've got to be at now. The 5 days rest will be crucial, which we haven't seemed to have had for a couple of months now. So there's opportunities there to really rest some players, get some other players up to speed. So I will go with a confident 4-0 win.
Oh, do you know what?
Mark my word.
I'm going to match up. I was going to say 4 as well. I think the lino won't turn up. He'll go the wrong way.
4 penalties.
They'll put an appeal out. Finn will toe the line, and Finn will just be ignoring everything that goes on. Let Kendall run through, get a couple of late goals. After Dallas and Gus has scored 1 each to go 16 for the season each.
Professional, unbiased.
Yeah, 4-0. No, I'm going mad. 4-0 as well.
You can keep up with play.
I don't know what they're serving in the East End. You need to come over.
Well, I was actually in the family stand for the Yeovil game. My girlfriend sits a bit further down, and my dad couldn't come, so I had to go and sit down there. I mean, it's not my cup of tea, but it was a little bit quieter. But it was all right. It was good to try out a different area of the stadium.
You couldn't say any bad words, Finn, could you?
No, I don't anyway.
I know you're an angel. Right. Right, we'll be back live this Sunday because I'm away next week. We'll have reaction from Solihull. Hopefully, coach driver Nick will be joining us. We'll talk awards contenders, start thinking about those. We'll have teammates from Harry Cardwell as well. So thanks to our sponsor, Please don't forget to comment, subscribe, and like. Sponsor Surgical Holdings. Thank you to them. Thank you to Charlie. Thank you to Finn. Thank you to Katie. And for everyone that's listening. And come on, you shrimpers.